What's up, guys and gals? My name is Splattercat. With our foray into the world of Space Hulk now being over, I figured I would go back and revisit a game that I never actually completed now that I think about it. And it's a little bit of a shame because Dawn of War 1 I beat probably 8 or 9 times when it came out, but Dawn of War 2, not so lucky. Haven't actually beaten this game, and I figured I was going to play it by myself anyways, so I might as well invite you guys along and see if we can have a little bit of fun with it. Now, a few stipulations here before I start. I have been just suffering from a horrible inner ear infection, and so it's basically like I'm playing this game inside of the Gravitron. If you don't know what a Gravitron is, Google it, you'll find out. So if I do anything inherently stupid, just rest assured it's because it just feels like I'm on the end of I'm sitting on top of a top right now. So it'll probably be okay, but I really do feel like I'm playing this game in a gyro at the moment. Let's go to the campaign. Now, I'm not going to be playing Chaos Rising just yet because I don't own it. We're going to see how Dawn of War 2 goes, the regular vanilla campaign. Now, we do have a little bit of time in between here. I have another series that's scheduled for mid-September on the release of another game that I'm really excited about. And so hopefully this will fit nicely right into that little crevasse. And then once that's taken care of, we should be able to move on to the new releases, and maybe I'll play Chaos Rising 2 at the end. But for the time being, let's join our brother Marines in the... What's going on here? Oh, there we go. All right, so I'm going to have to start a new campaign here. Let me go ahead and there we go. And we're going to join the Blood Ravens. Now I'm going to go with Leomond as my profile name because Splattercat doesn't fit. They just don't give me enough spaces. We're going to play on Sergeant because with my current disability, I feel like I'm going to make an ass out of myself trying to play on higher difficulties. And then we're going to accept it and we're going to enjoy some loverly cinematics. Let's go!
Subsector Aurelia. This cluster of worlds stands on the very edge of the Imperium of Man. From this frontier came the Blood Ravens, a chapter of the Emperor's own Space Marines. Savage aliens seek to put a rise and break the Blood Ravens once and for all. Captain Davian Thule and a handful of Space Marines lead the raw recruits defending these worlds. Now, another Space Marine joins this desperate battle. A newly promoted commander, ready to lead in our darkest hour. You are this Space Marine. And you will tip the balance toward victory.
Luckily, we showed up in the darkest hour versus the brightest one, because if we had showed up in the brightest one, there would have been like multiplicative brightness, and we would have just blinded all of our brother Marines. But it'll be okay. It's always thematically convenient that we show up right at the right time, isn't it? This first mission is a little bit of a tutorial, and I should probably run through it because it's been a long time since I played this game. Now, I never ventured out and played it online that much. I did play the little survival or last stand mode quite a bit, but you can pause it right here and check this out. Down in the left corner is a little bit of background story. It's not much. You know how it goes. Flash Gets said that it's impossible for 40K fans to have storyline. You remember the Flash Gets animation. Let's press it and jump in.
Calderis. We Blood Ravens select our initiates from this world's fierce warriors. Calderis is the cradle and the future of our chapter. Now, the orcs would take it from us. This, we cannot allow.
That are out in the open.
Show me what has the security among your...
Welcome, Commander. This is Captain Davian Thule, in command here on Calderis. We are battling the orcs that threaten this world. You have dropped right into the combat zone. I am north of you with several squads of our initiates. We are under heavy fire and losing control of our flanks. Move north and provide support.
Alright, will do. So how this game works, it's essentially, if you've never played it, I always like to do in the first episode, I always like to talk a little bit about the game. Let's see here. We'll move up to there. This game is a tactical RTS, which means that you command squads and you're trying to get them into the perfect cover to deal as much damage as possible. It has a lot in common with, like, Company of Heroes, for example. If you've played Company of Heroes, you'll jump right into this game, no problem. They basically play almost identically. Now, we've got these orcs pretty much flanked. I'll talk about the cover system a tad. How the cover system works is obviously you take cover behind stuff, but you'll see as my reticule goes around, or as I move my mouse, you see those little green dots? Those are potential cover points that I can put my units into. If the cover point is green, I believe it's a good thing. There we go, we'll return fire. And if it's yellow, it's even better. Like, yellow is like super bitchin' cover from what I remember, although I might be completely wrong. It looks like we've almost got the last of them cleared out. Each of our squads has a bunch of different things.
Trying to outflank us. Eliminate them.
Cocks open.
Alright, well, I'm not seeing a whole lot of spots that I can run to in order to make my life a little bit easier here, so I guess I'll just take the best position I can. Sometimes your guys aren't all going to be in cover, but we do have them flanked pretty hard. We should wipe them out fairly simply. Let me move my force commander up here. And each unit has different abilities they can use. Like you can see right here, they can throw a grenade, which is what they're going to do, and down go the orcs. We turn them into a giblets, or giblets, whatever you want to call them. Giblets work too. I'm going to move to this position with my squad and just flank the hell out of them if I can. Let me see if I can find a good one where they're all kind of fitting properly. Sometimes you aren't going to get the optimal cover you want. You just kind of have to live with it. Now over here we can select our units from this side. At the bottom right you're going to get their health readout with a little bit of energy underneath. Each unit has their own abilities, so Tarkus has an infantry squad. That's this group right here. They can throw grenades and they can tactically advance, which means they can break their suppression and reduce incoming range damage, but they move slower. And our commander, where did he go? Leomond. There he is. He can actually do a 2 victory type charge that knocks enemies back, and he's also got a med kit, which will allow me to heal people. As the unit's health gets a little bit lower, they will start to drop off, so out of these 4 guys, they'll start to fall over and die, and that means that their fire suppression, their ability to kill, basically goes down pretty substantially. Let me advance and see if I can totally pincer them right now and just eliminate their cover altogether. There it is, that's what I like to see. We can click on enemies, and if you watch their health bar, it does go down, and you'll see them die one by one as that number gets smaller and smaller. Here's the number of units that are left in that actual squad. I don't know if I should throw another grenade or not. What's my grenade range looking like? We'll save it for later. And I think we're almost good. Well, it looks like they're laying down some major DACA right there. I don't even know how I want to advance on this. Well, I guess the scouts over here have them flanked, so it'll work out in our favor as long as we wait and kind of just see what's going to happen here. We can rotate the camera around. I'll do my best to give you guys like cinematic views, although that might just end up giving you motion sickness. I don't know. I'll try not to pan it around too much, but when we've got crazy firefights going on like this one, I'll try and shift it around to a better vantage point. We are getting laid into a little bit right here, so I'm going to throw a grenade out, wipe out that group over there, although they are off camera. Maybe I'll fall back for better defilade right now, and also to allow the force commander to heal that unit. There we go. And so now they're going to advance a little bit. And as they advance, they're going to drop their cover. You see these guys? They are not in cover whatsoever, so we should be able to get some damage off. Although half of our units aren't really in cover either. Let's destroy their cover really quickly. There we go. And so actually we weren't so good at being geologists. We didn't blow up that rock or otherwise maim it, destroy it, or injure it, which I was hoping we would. God, that is a lot of orcs. I mean, we're doing a pretty good job at weeding on through them, but they are putting down some serious DACA right now. This is unfortunate. I should probably take a better position, but I don't really see anything available for the time being. Let's throw out another grenade since they're insisting on dogpiling on that location. And there goes down a couple more. Wow, they're like sort of endless here. Let me send the commander out, maybe get him into melee a little bit. No, not you. My bandbox has betrayed me. Proc off that right there, which increases his attack power, and then we should be okay, I think. He should be able to break him up a little bit. Oh, sure, they're just going to bum rush us then. That's funsies. That's funsies. Typical orc tactic. Completely untactically sound, but headbutting things to death works pretty well too. Now, these guys are engaged in melee right now. That's a big, big problem. Let me see if I can get into better cover here. This kind of sucks. Oh, maybe they just keep spawning until I get into better cover. That's kind of a dumb mechanic, but whatever. I'll accept it. Now that we're out of all manner of support objects. That's a grenade right there. You see that little ticking down number? You've got that long to run the hell away. And why aren't you guys getting into cover? There we go. I kind of wish for a little bit of automation here. That'd be kind of nice, but you can't always depend on stuff like that. They're just going to charge us again. This is a little... Oh, they've destroyed our cover. Well, my force commander managed to charge him and destroy him. What is going on here? This is just a mess. Let's get everybody out of here and then fall back a little bit. There's like no cover whatsoever. Like, I don't really know what they expect me to take cover behind, because there really is nothing. There we go. Now we've actually kind of managed to peel them back a tad. Let's see if I can rotate them in. And we should be able to get a little bit of damage done here.
Reinforcements have arrived. Push forward, initiates.
Alright, so we should be able to help these scouts out. Hopefully I'll get a better hang of the game as we play through. That whole thing seemed to be very, very messy. I think it's just because they kept endlessly spawning, though, until I stepped on like a certain point. It should be okay, though. Now, the game does have kind of a Diablo 2-esque loot system where, like, gear drops on the ground with random modifiers. It's pretty sweet. You can get yourself some pretty bitchin' Space Marine armor, up to even, like, Terminator armors and things like that, and it is random every time you play through from what I remember. I distinctly remember my kit being very different the first time I played through than it was, like, the second or third time that I played through the first couple missions. We should be able to finish them off pretty shortly, save our scouts, and then be good to go. I don't see any supplies over here. I wish there were some, because I'd love to throw a med kit on my guys. They're looking a little more injured than I would prefer. I'm gonna rotate this way a little bit. They are losing health, though, as far as I can tell. They are taking fire. Okay, good. So their health is dropping a little bit. But I do like the way this game is set up.
Commander, but the Greenskins will not give us much time before they attack again. I need you and Sergeant Tarkus to take charge of driving the orcs back. Move up to the ruins east of here and prepare to repel the next orc wave.
One of the things I have noticed is that the game is quite fast-paced. I mean, that's what I enjoyed about it at the beginning. And it looks like we've got like a battle wagon or, yeah, okay, funsies. Let's go ahead and wipe these guys out before they can get to cover. And then what we'll do is we'll try and throw a grenade at that, although we don't have any melta-bombs or anything, so I don't know how well that's going to work. Now, you'll see that because we're in superior cover and they have none, that's the main mechanic of the game. Like, if we have good cover and they have terrible cover, we win.
And these Umies is sparking up me truck. Back through that tunnel.
Alright, what do I want to do? Oh, well, let's leave them out of cover then. Everybody get back in and keep on firing. We should just be able to butcher these little buggers. There will be a little bit of just kind of sitting and watching, because sometimes they don't die quite as quickly as you would expect. It can take a little bit to whittle through all of them. There we go, support item. Let's loot that really quickly, and that should give me more grenades and more med kits.
Those orcs have opened a path through the hills somehow. Move forward and seal it.
Let's see what's over here first. I always want to find all the extra stuff I can, if there is indeed any extra stuff. I mean, I'm probably just going to get myself gibbed by going over here, because it's usually ill-advised to go off on secondary missions. But maybe there's like a big box of treasure over here. Maybe there will be like an ultimate bolter of amazing awesomeness. And that's the official Space Marine name for it. The ultimate bolter of amazing awesomeness. There we go. Where's Zale when I need him? There's another supply crate right there. I can bust these open, I think. Yeah, you can like shoot them or something. Let me see here. There we go. And then we loot it, and it's going to give us more grenades and stuff. We'll shoot that one too from back where we are. I want to make sure we have plenty of gear before we run into this little kill zone. I think my first cover, I think that's a good spot right there. We'll send everybody up to there, and then we'll put the commander back behind this little turbine-looking thing. Oh, no. Jump back into cover over here, have him swing into here, and then we should just be able to wipe these guys out like crazy. Yeah, that's looking fairly effective. They seem to be dropping like flies. God, this is making me remember my wonderful orc army. I need to get back to painting them. They're up in a closet somewhere ever since I went to college. Let's see. last couple should be going down here. Let's think about what we can do over on this side. Oh, that's a big old tower. Well, I don't want to send my commander off in here by himself. Maybe use him as bait. There we go. And then we'll move forward to these crates. Once we get those 3 down, I think what my plan is going to be, we're not going to worry about these ones so much. We do really want to make sure we get rid of this tower, though. Let me shift the commander into position. He's got a lot more HP. He's a little bit more resilient than a lot of the other guys. He can be a bit more useful to use in these cases. And let me see what my range is going to look like on a grenade. So I'm going to need them like right in here to make that throw. Let's go ahead and cancel that, and then we're going to move them up to this heavy cover. Once they're in the position, I think I should be able to get a grenade off and just blow this bad boy up. There it is. Just collapse the little buggers. And we leveled up, so we do have some RPG mechanics in this game. We can increase various attributes of our squads.
Greenskins are clearly using that mine as a passage, Commander. Seal that entrance by any means necessary.
Alright, as I was saying, we can level up our units and do different things. Will you guys shut up?
A well-placed grenade should ignite.
Good work, Space Marines. The Greenskins will not be using that passage again anytime soon.
But the leader managed to escape through the tunnel before we could kill him. That was our chance to cut this invasion off at the head.
He will show himself again, Tarkus. And when he does, we will be ready. Thunderhawks are en route. Prepare for extraction.
Let our enemies beware, for victory is ours.
Nice. So at the end of each mission, we're not going to get like a butcher bill like you would normally get, but we are going to get some loot, which is pretty sweet. I don't really remember the exact way the whole thing flows, but getting new gear is always sweet. We also get a little bit of XP, and I think they give us a rating based on how well we did, which I'm guessing is going to be fairly terrible considering how long I got waylaid at that beginning point, but we'll find out.
Welcome aboard Strike Cruiser Armageddon, Commander. Calderis is currently facing a massive orc invasion that threatens to spill over to the entire sector. Urgent distress signals are coming from other nearby sectors, but we must concentrate our efforts here. I need you to take charge of an assault that's stalled on the surface below. Drop to the point marked on the planet map and start pushing into the orc's flank.
Alright, so it's day 2, and I don't know how I should do the episode, so I'm just going to play until I feel like we've got kind of enough footage here in this first episode. But let me do some level ups. You get this pretty cool view of your character where you can look at the way the armor is going to change as you equip them. One of those things that I'm very much all about. I absolutely 100% love it when stuff shows up on my unit. Like when I upgrade armor, it changes the way it looks. We've got a new chainsword, does a little bit more damage than just the initial gear. We don't have any new armor or anything like that. I'm probably going to give this bolter to Tarkus, I think. Yeah, we'll give him the improved bolter. Let's see how that goes for us. Let's see here, 5.2 damage. Okay, so yeah, that's definitely going to be better than what he has already. Now for Tarkus, there's a couple of things you can do to make your units better. Most of them are going to be divided up into different categories. So there's kind of this tanky health category at the top. Upgrading this is going to give you health, and it's going to give you the ability to tank a little bit better, get shot up and not bleed through your rectum so badly. The second category right here is how good you are at ranged combat. That's probably the one that I'm going to be pumping a lot of points in with Tarkus. I seem to remember in previous experiences putting points into this just was amazing for Tarkus and just made him quite the kill machine. Underneath that is your melee prowess. Now there's not really a whole lot of reason to equip Tarkus with a whole lot of melee abilities. He very much has a long-ranged squad. And then the final one is going to be energy and special equipment usage. This one is universally useful for just about everybody because every unit type has its own special abilities, and this allows you to equip more of them at a time. Right now we've got an empty slot, but in the future we could equip him with, say, like satellite bursts and things of that nature. Kind of cool stuff to have. I'm not going to overextend myself there, though, because I haven't played this game in a long time, so I'm not going to try and make any assertions that I can't back up with absolute 100% certainty. For now, let's go ahead and upgrade his range damage, and he's now at 14 damage per second, which is very, very cool. Let's jump on up to the Force Commander. I think I'm going to build him as a melee. That seems to be a pretty good plan. Down the line, maybe give him a Thunder Hammer or a Power Sword or something along those lines. Turn him into sort of my tank. So I want to give him HP and I want to give him melee skills. Each one of these little pips is an ability that you unlock as you go through, or a passive. It can be one or the other. So right here we get Battle Cry. That means every time he attacks, it's a special attack, which knocks people around, throws people, ragdolls them, all that fun stuff. If we put all of our points into that category right now, he is going to get that this turn, but I think he could probably use a bit more health. So let's throw some health into the mix. The first ability he's going to get there is it's Zealous. It's going to increase the charge range of his 2 victory. I suppose we'll start the next mission. We'll cut this one a little bit longer. As we go along, I'll see if maybe I can do 1 mission per episode. I do know that the missions get a little bit longer. Each location has these little buildings or installations that we can capture. I forget how they play into the game, but they'll explain it later. As far as I remember, some of them allow you to do like artillery strikes, other ones allow you to do more missions in a day, and other ones allow you to call in like more support turrets and like cannons and things of that nature. They basically boost up different abilities, and you can only place 1 on each little territory. Let's do a retake the hamlet.
The Greenskins have taken over a hamlet outside Argus. This hamlet sits on a vital supply route, and all of Calderis could fall if we do not dislodge them. Sergeant Avitus and his squad of Devastator Space Marines held the hamlet alone, but they were finally overwhelmed. You must retake the hamlet and drive the orcs back. To aid in this, I am assigning Sergeant Cyrus and his squad of scouts to your command. His infiltration expertise should prove invaluable.
All right, and actually Sergeant Cyrus is one of my favorite units in this entire game. He's pretty sweet. He's kind of like a ghosty character. You guys will see. Let's deploy. Now, the way we want to use our units is going to be fairly specialized, and in the future I may edit out these loading screens, but for now I'm a bit of a blabbermouth, so it gives me a proper excuse to kind of gab at you guys, but we do want to use our units to their special abilities. You definitely don't want to put like your scouts up front, for example.
This guard duty stuff is naff. We should be out stopping you again like we did to the town. Wait, did you hear something?
Coming out of stealth, a good shield. Cyrus to Armageddon. In position.
Space Marines, heartening news. Avitus, the squad leader who defended the hamlet, is still alive. The orcs incapacitated him, but apparently could not finish the job.
Avitus is too stubborn to die.
So it would seem, Cyrus. An orc guard position stands between you and Sergeant Avitus. Approach with stealth and eliminate the Greenskins.
Understood.
Alrighty, so we've got some new abilities to play with in this mission. I try to take this position as quickly as possible because initiative is always key in any war game. You always want to make sure that you're the one making the moves that everyone else has to adapt to. And it looks like that's going to backfire on me right now. So let's send the commander on into melee, and hopefully he'll be able to clean this up. Ooh, he did like a little whirlwind move. Wiped out all the cover, too. What do we have going on? Oh, okay, so there's Avitus. I forgot. He's got the heavy bolter. All right, let's drop the force commander. We'll put him back right there. Avitus can, Tarkus can go right there. And what we want to do is let's take a look with Cyrus. So if we look at Cyrus, he's got an ability called Infiltrate. Now this allows him to actually cloak and go invisible. He's got another ability called Demolition Charge, which lets him put a kind of a timer mine on the ground that blows stuff up. This is going to be really useful to us, and in fact, that's why he's one of my favorite units. He lets you get in there and kind of pull off all kinds of crazy Splinter Cell action. Let's go ahead and stealth him.
Out of sight. Moving toward target.
And what we want to do now is we're going to try and throw this into this building. It is going to drop them out of stealth until later on. Later on, we get an ability.
Demolition charge will bring that tower down.
There we go. And so now we want to retreat. And down it goes.
Eliminated.
Excellent work, Cyrus. Avitus's position is on your tactical display. Revive him so that he may join your attack.
Very cool. Now, one of the things about the scouts is that they are kind of useful in a normal respect. Like, they can be used almost as well as normal bolter marines. They're just a little bit more fragile, but they do have pretty good ranged prowess. Later on, we'll be able to give Cyrus...
Damn orcs found another pass through the hills.
There is a relay beacon near your position, Commander. Secure it, and we can deploy reinforcements to fill out your squads.
Repositioning.
All right, so let's secure that. And as I was saying, With Cyrus, you can give him a sniper rifle later, makes him a little bit more utilitarian. He can nail people from way far off in the distance. Pretty nice for killing bosses. All that fun stuff.
Reinforcements inbound.
There we go. So now we're going to resummon the rest of his Devastator Marines. That's what they're called.
Habitus and his Devastator squad are back to full strength. Now, push into the hamlet and eliminate those orcs, Commander.
We'll deploy him there. We'll go ahead and put Tarkus right there. These guys will watch this flank, kind of shoot that way if we have to. We can deploy people into buildings, just so you guys know. It is absolutely possible. Now, the Devastator Marines have an ability called Suppression, or Focus Fire. It allows them to suppress. You see it happening right there. Makes them move very, very slowly. I was worried about that happening, so I'm glad that the scouts were able to clean that up. The Mantle of the Great Father, and the Pistol of Baal. That's pretty sweet. It's a pretty ballsy pistol. Now, let's grab both of those. That's good that we actually got some loot because it will be useful. But as I was saying, these gents right here can suppress. And that's a pretty cool ability because it forces the enemy to move very, very slowly and allows other guys, like let's say we both were moving for this position right here. I could suppress these little bastards, move into it, and I'd probably get there first and wipe them out. I'm surprised there's enough room right there, but I suppose I'll take it. I'm not going to bitch and moan too much about a good thing. Let's move the Devastators into position, take our scouts, maybe drop them into the back lines a little bit. Sometimes with the scouts, it's a little tough to figure out where you actually want to deploy them.
Are turning tail. They could be going for help. Stay alert.
All right, well, they managed to retreat. The thing about taking cover in houses that you want to be careful about is sometimes the houses get grenaded, and it takes you a little bit of time to get away from a nade if it gets put into a house. And that puts you in a very precarious position. In fact, you can end up losing like most of your squad if a grenade goes off right when you're outside. And I apologize if I'm explaining things you already know.
Heavy cover, Commander. The suppressive fire from my heavy bolter will keep the greenskins pinned. There. Devastators ready to fire. Our heavy bolters are deadly, but they take time to set up and have a limited field of fire.
And you saw that I just activated suppressive fire. We're losing a little bit of energy, but if you look, he's just wiping people out left and right, so we should be okay right here. It might be worth throwing a grenade in there, actually. Let me see if I can throw a grenade. There we go. That should clear him out nice and handily. We've also got a book or some kind of codex dropped over here.
Get to that position, brothers.
I'm going to set up the Devastators right here. Let's get Tarkus set up right there. We'll put the scouts in right here, and then we should be okay. Force Commander, you can kind of just throw him in wherever.
Beacon near your position. Activate it to finish securing the hamlet.
Alright, we're on it. Let's go ahead and activate that beacon. I'm going to have Tarkus shoot that crate right there so I can get my grenade back. Typically, I try to save those sometimes, but for these earlier missions, it's not really a huge peak concern. As I was saying, if I'm talking about things you already know, just ignore me. I know it's tough because my commentary is overriding things, but
The hamlet is secure. More orcs are on the way, Commander. Set up your forces to repel the attack. This hamlet must not fall again.
We need only a word. Be vigilant.
Try and get as many people into cover as I can. Maybe we'll put the Force Commander with the scouts, just so they've got a little bit of extra morale boost. I don't know where we're about to get hit from. We're probably about to get hit from somewhere, though.
Orcs on approach.
Come on, greenskins!
I admire their enthusiasm. And you see them being suppressed right there. They're being forced to kind of crawl along. Not able to really get any purchase when they're trying to make their advance.
Good work, Habitus. They have nowhere to run now. Target them before they can get to cover.
Ooh, and then we got a grenade. Let's get away from that. I was worried that might catch them over there. It's okay. They'll be alright.
Tactical Marines ready.
Let's go ahead and get our TAC Marines back into position. I would prefer that we not eat too many grenades early on in the combat. Well, it looks like they've managed to jump into melee with us. You really, really, really don't want to send your scouts into melee. They've managed to rush our position, though, which is definitely disappointing. Let me see what I can do here.
Tactical squad, heading out.
Get them in a little bit better of cover here. Ooh, that's all bad. They wiped out our cover pretty handily there. See if maybe I can get people kind of retreated away. Yeah, actually have everybody suppressed if we can. Our scouts should be able to handle it. I mean, they are Space Marines. They're just sort of Space Marines in training aside from Cyrus. I'm pretty sure that's in the rulebook somewhere where, like, all scouts are like Marines in training or something.
Thunderhawks are on approach to return you to the Armageddon.
Oh, well, that's that.
Victory will long be remembered in the halls of glory.
And our reward was some new power armor, so we should be able to equip people fairly well after this mission. We managed to get ourselves some greeny power armor, some greeny weapons, some white stuff. The colors are pretty much the same as you would expect from any Diablo clone. Go ahead and continue, see how people leveled up here. Looks like Tarkus did pretty good work there. The Hymn of Purgation. Ah, I see. It's kind of a little debuffer for the orcs that are around us. Interesting. Well, we'll continue. I'm going to do the storyline for the next episode at the end of the previous episode, I suppose.
Well done, Commander. With the hamlet cleared, we can secure the main route into the capital.
The Greenskins knew to strike where we were most vulnerable, Captain Thule.
Cyrus is correct. Someone is agitating the orcs and pointing them at valuable targets. If we are going to win this war, we need to find out who is using the Greenskins against us.
Alright, so we're right at that point. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me in this, the first episode of our Dawn of War 2 playthrough. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope it's not something that you've seen too much or that's becoming cliche. I don't really know. I didn't do any research on how popular this game was to LP before I did it. I just felt like doing it. I was going to play it anyways. Figured I'd invite you guys along. So I'll see you guys next time, and take care out there, everybody.